Can you hear all the birds? There's a squirrel right there. Do you see that squirrel? These Palo Alto squirrels, they're notorious. Today is not a great day for walking outside. There's another fire happening up in Calistoga and the smoke has drifted down. So the air quality is about 150, 160 today. We're in this garden. It's called ELEANOR PARDEE Garden and it's in Palo Alto. It's a public space. And it's actually composed of a few different areas. The first area is this Master Gardener's test demonstration garden area. And then there's this demonstration garden, which is mostly drought-tolerant, low-water, Mediterranean climate plants, including California natives and other plants from different regions. If we walk further down, past the Master Gardener's area, there's a community garden. The border is full of pollinator plants. I say we just casually walk through and see what's going on and check out the plants. I love interpretive signage. There should be more of this stuff everywhere. And I really like how there are plant labels in this garden bed area, but looks like someone's mask flew away or something happened here. There's a mask there. Oh, what is this? This looks like Grindelia, is it? Is this a Grindelia? No. Oh, it's a Mimulus. Huh. The foliage looks a little different. I was thinking about this grass the other day. It looks so pretty and graceful. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And this grass is a Muhlenbergia. God, it looks so pretty. Muhlenbergia emersii, bullgrass. That's so pretty. Efficient irrigation, watering lawns and gardens without waste. Irrigation is a tough topic in California. Sometimes drip is necessary, sometimes bubblers are necessary, sometimes even sprinklers are necessary, depending on what you're growing and the soil situation and climate. Check this out. We have a couple of plants here that are highly ornamental. There's a pomegranate tree, and then just pretty much on top of it, or right next to it, is a toyon, which is a California native plant. It's a large-scale evergreen shrub. Toyon, it's already put on red berries. It's really fast. The common name is toyon or Christmas berry because these berries usually appear around Christmas time. The birds love it. The botanical name is Heteromeles arbutifolia. It's usually red, but it does come in a yellow form too. If you have a large garden and you want it to go native, this is one of the best plants that you could have in your garden. So here's another pomegranate tree. It's interesting, right? It's not really a tree, it's more like a large-scale shrub. It's a cane grower. See all the branches and stems appearing from the base. here's a western redbud. I love western redbuds. They're such a beautiful California native plant. I particularly like the ones that are multi-stemmed, multi-branched. They have a nice wide open vase form. Foliage is attractive. It's going to change color for fall winter interest. Has pink blossoms, and those buds are starting to form, and they eventually turn into these seed pods that are highly ornamental too. When this sheds, and if it's a fairly mature tree, it actually has a really nice branch form. Here are some more western redbuds. It seems like these redbuds aren't really getting irrigated, so they kind of look like this, but if you do irrigate them, they look pretty lush during summer. They do prefer to be planted in light shade. Regular water would be ideal, but it can tolerate sun. Especially if you live on the coast, full sun is fine. Oh, down below is another California native called Epilobium. California fuchsia. The hummingbirds love this plant so much. It's pretty much like a perennial, large-scale ground cover. In winter, you would cut this down to the ground so that it can come up again in spring. Oh, there's another western redbud. By the way, the botanical name is Cercis occidentalis. It's related to the eastern redbud, which is Cercis canadensis. The California native one doesn't grow as large, it doesn't grow as wide, and the foliage is smaller and rounder versus larger and heart-shaped. So this is interesting. Right in front of us, this is a demonstration of alternative lawns. If you wanted to take out your lawn and plant something that is a little more water-wise, and these are a few examples. And these are being irrigated, and right now they're not receiving full sun. It looks like there's some woolly thyme right there. And this is a blue fescue. Not the California native, this is Festica Glauca, which is a non-native. And over here is a very low-growing, matte-growing ground cover called Dimondia. It has yellow flowers like this that actually covers the entire ground cover at some point in the year. This one is becoming more popular for a lawn alternative in California. It's used a lot in Southern California. It's called Carapia. It's also a California native. This can actually be mowed down. It does have these small flowers. Looks like the bees are enjoying it. The reason why this seems to be successful in Southern California is that it actually develops taproots about 6 feet deep in the ground. Some people say it's virtually indestructible. And I think for the most part it's evergreen in SoCal, but over in the Bay Area, I heard that there have been mixed results with this. And maybe it's because we get colder here. We do receive a little frost. So I'm not sure. Okay, over here is my least favorite. This is the native mow-free grass blend. So you can get either sod or you can get seeds with a mix of more naturalistic lawn that includes cool season grasses and warm season grasses. When you first put it down, it looks gorgeous. It looks green, it looks very meadowy. It looks like it's kind of combed over. It gets like this over time. Even if you dethatch it and mow it or whatever you do to manage it, it gets like this. Especially if you have this in full sun. If you're looking for like a green look for most of the year, this is not the ideal grass. I think there needs to be a specific type of irrigation setting going on, a schedule. It needs to be maintained. If you mow it, you don't want to mow it down too low You know, some of these grasses, maybe some are really tough and long-lived, but some aren't. And the ones that do survive take over. What I've noticed is that the cool season grasses take over. In cool season, it's green because it's the growing season. But in summer season, they go dormant and they turn brown. But they're alive, but they turn brown. I'm not a big fan of this. And it actually takes a lot of maintenance, yeah, and know-how. I'm really interested in this one though, the Carapia, and I might have to test it out. As far as Dimondia goes, Dimondia is hit or miss. You do need very specific type of irrigation setup, pretty close together, and a specific schedule. Dimondia has a tendency to die out in patches, so it may look green and matted out, beautiful, and then there'd be a huge section that's dried out. Or the weeds will come through between the ground cover, which can annoy a lot of people. As far as blue fescue goes, it's one of those plants that, again, looks good in cool season, looks blue, but in warm season it browns out, but it doesn't look as bad as the native mow-free grass. I found that these are kind of short-lived. You still need to maintain them, whether you cut them back or clean out all the dead foliage from the underside. If you leave that dead foliage and when it rains, it might actually rot out the grass itself. Thyme is really, really excellent in light shade. It works out really well. Wow, look at this yucca. That is striking. And this looks nice. Over here with the aloes and the acacia. Acacia is really pretty. I'm always attracted to the foliage of acacia. It's always very sculptural and architectural, interesting. I think this is called the knife leaf or knife cut acacia. There are all these flower buds forming. And these are going to be yellow flowers. It's evergreen. It has this kind of like chalky blue, white foliage color. And what's the name of this? Where is the name? Yeah, this is the knife leaf acacia, Acacia cultriformis. So it's a fast grower, can tolerate full sun, it can tolerate light shade, but not deep shade. It needs good drainage. The downside to acacia though is that possibly it could be an allergen, like the flowers can cause allergies. And depending on the type of species and variety, it can be invasive. Like the Baleanas are invasive, so they can reseed easily. It's beautiful and striking though. Here's a Miscanthus, very popular ornamental grass, large scale. In my opinion, too large scale for most home gardens. But if you have a large garden, I think it's nice as a seasonal focal point. These get big, and you do have to divide them every like 2 years. They do need to be cut back every year. So just FYI guys, I haven't talked about this and I probably should. With a lot of ornamental grasses that are large scale, you might have to cut them back every year or every other year to keep them tidy. The best time to do that is in October. You want to do it before the new foliage comes up. And you want to try to avoid doing it when there's a chance of frost. Either in October or you wait until maybe about mid-March, early March to cut it back. And new foliage will grow so that it's all fresh green leaves instead of a mix of brown and green leaves. When you do cut this back, you do want to create like a small mound and cut back maybe at least like 1.5 to 2 feet off of the ground so that it still has some protection and cover. Aren't the seed heads interesting? Isn't that cool? A really common plant in cold areas because it is quite hardy. Usually they don't get cut back until early spring in the eastern states and the northern states. To me, this is beautiful. Okay. To other folks, they may think it looks dead, but I think that is gorgeous. This is a buckwheat, California native buckwheat called Eriogonum, or you can pronounce it Eriogonum fasciculatum. The flowers are usually kind of like a cream color, but they've browned out now. They're turning into seeds, and it's so striking. Any sort of California native buckwheats are great for pollinators. Oh wow, here is the large-scale Leucadendron, one that is more like green silvery color. This is very large. Look at that, isn't that pretty? It must look so pretty in the evening with the moonlight reflecting off of it. And which one is this called? Is there a label? Oh, where's the label? Leucadendron. Meridianum. Silver cone bush. Striking. Big. Looks really good with that yucca too. And the chondropetalum. Here's a Manzanita Arctostaffless. It's one of my favorite California natives. This is a lemonade berry. Rusovata. Evergreen. Large scale shrub. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back to take a tour of the pollinator area and also the community garden and the master gardener demonstration area. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions. See you guys later. Bye.